So I think we should take a moment of silence and remember those that lost their lives and acknowledge all the survivors and families of the victims and everyone that helped out that day. Okay. Thank you. Now we're going to talk about safe bars. Heather, or not Heather, you're Sarah.
Take it away. Okay, as most of you remember, a couple years ago, we helped fund a study done by Responsible Hospitality Institute in reaction to a lot of the activity that was going on Court Avenue with violence and issues that everybody was concerned about. And there wasn't a lot of like statistical data regarding sexual assault or violence, but there was enough anecdotal conversation in the many, many interviews that they did that led them to recommend that we implement a sexual assault prevention campaign focused on Court Avenue. So we've spent the last, 6 months or so getting together a group that included the health department, CFYS's crisis and advocacy team, the county attorney's office, the partnership, and some others to kind of figure out what this campaign looks like. And where we landed is engaging in a contract with Safe Bars. They are a nonprofit who travels across the country to do train the trainer programs for groups like us, and they really focus on teaching active bystander intervention methods to people. So we will have 12 individuals who become trainers in this active bystander intervention program that can then go out on an ongoing and continual basis, train bar staff, not only in Court Avenue district, but East Village, Ingersoll, West Glen, all of the places that have concentrations of nightlife activities. So we are set for them to come here on September 26th and 27th. It's a 2-day training from 8 to 4. We're going to be hosting it out at Grimaldi's in West Des Moines, and there will be 12 people. So 1 from the health department will be trained, probably 3 from crisis and advocacy, 1 from the county attorney's office, and then Annie, who owns Annie's and a number of bars around here. She has 1 or 2 lead staff that are going to participate. Sam Summers, who has a lot of the bars in the East Village, is going to have 3 at least, maybe a couple more people participate. They're really excited about it. And then we just started conversation with Johnny's and a couple others. So we have really, really good participation from a lot of the key ownership groups in Court Avenue and East Village area. So again, those people will be able to take their 2-day training and then turn around and train all of their bar staff on an ongoing basis. It's like a 2-hour training once it goes down to the staff level. And they'll provide recommendations on how frequently to do that. We're thinking somewhere between 2 and 4 times a year, just to make sure we're capturing the turnover in staff there. It cost us $6,500, so it's a really good investment, and people are really excited about it, people that I've talked to so far. So like I said, the training will happen on the 26th and 27th, and then our staff will be trained as well so that we can kind of just keep this going into perpetuity. Alongside of the actual training, we've put together a marketing and PR campaign to really lift up the bars and the venues that are participating in this and, really getting excited about it. So we'll be hosting a press conference at 11 o'clock on the 26th at the actual training, and then John's put together a logo that goes up here, that you see up here. We'll hand out stickers to everybody who participates, so that the bars who are Safe Bar certified can put stickers on their window and pat themselves on the back. And then John put together a PR campaign too that I would propose the Board of Supervisors funding, if you guys are in agreement with it. So you want to touch on that real quick?
Sure. Basically, it's just a mixed media campaign. The media invite is going out. We'll have a news release to go out, and Julie Haggerty is trying to get a hold of me. Sorry. And we're going to have a paid TV campaign as well that includes like WHO KCCI, the others in some digital media. Not really. You want to touch on it?
So as part of this too, the partnership's been involved, so they put together kind of an earned media campaign, so we'll anticipate having some coverage in the Register, the Business Record, things like that. I know social media, we're putting together templates for all of the bars to use so they can blast it out to all their followers, once it starts taking place. But I think there's a lot of interest and excitement about it. I think after you guys passed the resolution a couple weeks ago, we had maybe 3 or 4 inquiries from media about it, and just encouraged most of them to come to the press conference on the 26th at 11 o'clock. So it's a really positive story, and people are really excited about it.
And we are scheduled to shoot the TV commercial next week, and it would air starting in October through mid-November, I believe.
Yeah.
And we might relaunch it in the spring.
Didn't Des Moines make a commitment sometime back for additional law enforcement on Court Avenue, or like a team or a squad or what have you?
Yeah, so our investment, if you recall, we were paying, I can't remember what the number is off the top of my head, but we were contributing to additional security and some cameras and stuff downtown. That agreement is done as of June. There was some rollover money that hadn't gotten spent that we agreed to, it was like $10,000 that we agreed to leave in the pot and let them just continue spending down. But yes, it's my understanding that they were looking to put a downtown police force in their budget next year. And that all of the safety and things that we had invested in previously, the city's now taking full responsibility for that.
So Sarah, does when you say the other people will train our staff, will they train others when we're done? Our people will train?
They
Or are we
can.
gonna have these people come back?
Nope, we shouldn't have to have these people come back for quite some time. So a combination of our people and the management that the bars are sending to this, they'll be able to train staff on a regular basis. So
Okay,
we
good.
just wanted our staff to be trained so that if, the turnover happens to the extent that there's nobody at the management level available to do it, that we could kind of go in and restart it for them. And Crisis and Advocacy has staff who has a very similar program, so they're very well versed in this. But the benefit of going with this outside group is, they've got the messaging templates, the marketing templates. It's, it's kind of a nicely packaged deal.
Well, in that business, it does have turnover. That's what I'm nervous about. There'll be a lot of turnover, so somebody's gotta keep up with all that.
Yep.
Will there be agreements in those establishments that they need to contact us if there is management turnover?
We haven't talked about actual agreements, but we certainly can. I'm kind of relying on these guys when they come here to give
Yeah.
us some of the best practices on how to make sure that this continues for years and years to come, and it'll definitely be a talking point at our
Okay.
training.
Good.
What is our financial budget proposed?
It costs $6,500 to bring 2 people in. One's coming from the West Coast, one's coming from the East Coast for the 2-day training. And then I would propose that we buy the group pizza for lunch.
I'm referring to the marketing too.
In terms
Oh,
of marketing,
yeah.
it really kind of depends on what budget you want. I mean, we have 3 different options for each consideration. One is just TV with a mix of online, digital, and then depending on how much you want to spend, you can post that and radio.
So it's anywhere from 20 to 38, I think, thousand. So that'll be a decision for you guys to make.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
It's not the cheapest time of year to be buying advertising, so we might want to think about spacing some of this out past the election.
Yeah, I think what we talked about was kind of an initial push to capture the energy of just getting trained, and then really hit it hard in the spring, when Court Avenue kind of comes alive again for the season. But really a lot of our conversation has been focused on how do we share this story and the messaging in a way that doesn't take us 5 years in the past and reliving all of the bad things that happened, but really highlight the positivity of taking this initiative forward and just giving people that added layer of security and awareness and education. And, you know, the people that I've talked to from the bar industry are just super appreciative that local government's taken an interest in this, and they're like, yep, we'll participate in anything you guys have to offer. So they were very well received.
Just another good tool in their toolbox.
Yep.
And the campaign is geared mostly toward female age 18 to 34, I believe, and some sports, football, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the other, oh, go ahead, Bob.
Real world example, let me again have an example of what these people are gonna be trained in, and what are they supposed to detect or see, and when they do see or detect it, then what do they do?
Well, I don't know yet. I'll find out on the 26th. But the idea is with bystander intervention programs. So, like me as a bartender or a manager or a bouncer at some place, you know, where people are drinking a lot, just recognizing when someone's getting close to kind of that overserved point, or if there's like a guy who's buying a girl, you know, a ton of drinks or shots, and you know she's just getting too intoxicated or just kind of predatory type behavior, and then they teach them really positive, non-confrontational ways to just separate them. You know, like, hey, can I get you a cab ride home, or you know, those kinds of things. So very
So
non-confrontational.
is it focused on sexual harassment kind of concerns, or does it extend into potential violent situations? Or what?
Both. Yep. I think the primary concern is a woman who is too intoxicated to consent to sexual activity, and then, you know, being swept away by somebody who's taking advantage of her.
Okay.
That
Right.
could-
And our news release does point out as well, this is not just bar staff, it can also be like sororities
Yep.
and fraternities if they want to get people trained to be able to look out for things.
Yep, that was kind of the idea of having some of our staff trained as well, so that we could not only expand beyond Court Avenue into the other entertainment districts, but if we wanted to start reaching out to college campuses and things like that, that we could do a lot more with it.
It'd be right up their alley, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
This is great.
Yep.
Long time coming, I think. Any other questions or comments? Okay, keep us posted.
Okay.